The Chiefs have been the team in the AFC West that you look at and you go, well, just pencil them in. Pat Mahomes, and even before that, Alex Smith, they're pretty darn good as well. So now they are still the favorites, but a much shorter favorite this year at plus money, plus $1.50. So when you look at the Chiefs now, we know they don't have Tyreke Hill.
Right.
Defensively, they feel like they're getting better on paper. You draft edge here in the first round. Just a simple question. I don't know if it's a simple answer. Should they still be the favorite in this division?
I mean, until you knock them off, they should be, right? Even from a betting standpoint, we can all look at the Chargers, look at the Broncos, look at the Raiders even. Everybody's going to improve, and that's what happens each and every year. Everybody improves, but until you knock them off within a division, yeah, absolutely. I think you got to look at the Chiefs as a favorite. For me, though, in understanding windows and time, turnover, and how much time you truly have with a particular roster, they're at the threshold of that.
Oh, boy.
They're at the 4-year mark, right?
So that window still is open.
It's cracked.
But it's cracked.
Yeah, and it's closing. It's not opening. I mean, it was wide open for 4 years, right?
Yep.
If you think about it. And you were familiar with this with the Cowboys, their run. What's unprecedented certainly was with the Patriots and Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. That's unprecedented. But I don't know if Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes understand the turnover aspect of it as much as Belichick and Brady did. I mean, Belichick openly said, okay, 1 year too soon, or certainly the philosophy is, okay, 1 year too soon is always better than 1 year too late. So they're always looking to upgrade the roster or improve the roster or change the roster. Whereas now the Chiefs, I think, unexpectedly have to deal with roster changes.
Wow.
One Tyreke Hill, right? I mean, one superstar like that. So we'll see how they handle it. I think it's the name of the game in the National Football League. You're at that 4-year mark with a run as a dynasty. To me, they are going to come back to the pack here.
It feels like it. And again, normally I go quarterback, coach, I trust. And of course, you're going to trust that. But I think it's a great point that the window, just because you have quarterback, coach, doesn't always stay open forever. It's not in perpetuity. So you got to get better in the roster. I think they did.
Okay.
Do you think the Tyreke Hill trade, in hindsight now, because I know it was a shock to the system when it happened. What? They're trading Tyreke Hill.
Yeah.
Do you think, in essence, that was the wise move by the organization to say, all right, we're not going to pay him the money he wants. Miami, go ahead and do that, and we'll get the rest of the roster a little bit better?
Well, I think it's an indicator because, in actuality, they could pay Tyreke Hill if they wanted to. They didn't want to.
Wow.
See, that's the secret about – it's not really a secret. But, I mean, if a team wants to pay you, they'll pay you. They'll jump through hoops and jump over hurdles to get something done if they really want you. But if they feel like, okay, we can move on and we want to do something different, then we're not going to pay that guy a particular amount of money. And I think when I look at the roster, that's what the Chiefs want to do. They want to reinvent themselves, right? If people are going to drop 8 guys in coverage and Patrick Mahomes has a tendency to not be patient with that, we're going to force him to be patient. We're going to get him more into controlled situations at the line of scrimmage with the true essence of the West Coast offense. And I think that's what the Kansas City Chiefs and Andy Reid, Eric Bieniemy wants to move towards with the passing game. But that Patrick Mahomes he's going to have to emerge that way with that patience, that pure pocket patience, and get away from the air raid element that made him spectacular, that also helped Tyreke Hill become a spectacular player as well.
Yeah, and that is interesting that the game plan is actually to make Patrick Mahomes mortal, right? So we'll give up the stuff in between, but what we're not going to give you is we're going to really switch the looks once you get down in the red zone.
Right.
And it felt like he was superhuman and could do anything for the longest time. He's still Patrick Mahomes. We get that. But is that the right strategy? Is to say, you know what? We're going to test your patience and see if you can be patient when you have to be patient inside the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, Hank Stram, just go back to those days when you're talking about matriculating the ball down the field, right? And
keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
Keep doing it, guys. But, it's one thing to be able to make big plays, which we see Patrick Mahomes from college. That's what he's about, escaping the pocket and throwing the ball vertically down the field. He's trying to throw the ball out the stadium. Remember those days?
Yeah, I do.
But as you get older and teams adjust to you, you have to control the game offensively, which will help your defense as well. So I think what the Chiefs want to do is you're going to have to tinker with it, but at the same time. But no Tyreke Hill on the field, you are going to be different. That is the speed demon, and that's an element that helped you mightily through your dynasty days. Now, I dug this up, Dave. You'll appreciate this.
Okay.
Yards after the catch for receivers. You got Cooper Kupp, number 1 last year, Deebo Samuel, Jamar Chase, incredible. Devontae Adams, by the way, we just talked about those guys yesterday. Austin Eckler, Godwin, and guess who was number 7? And it was with the Chiefs.
Travis Kelce.
It's Kelce. So think about that for a minute. Tyreke Hill, yards after the catch, wasn't the leading weapon on the team.
No, it's the bowling ball, right? It's Kelce just bouncing people off.
It's the matchups you can create with Kelce, too, and how you use Kelce. So I think he's the ultimate weapon within the offense. But if this is a more controlled offense, you still have the yards after the catch element with Travis Kelce, which will still help your offense.
Mahomes right now about 9-1 to win the MVP. The win total for this team is 10.5, and there is a correlation that if they can win the division again, right? And again, it's still plus money right now to win the division. And remember, regular season award, people. So forget about what might happen in the postseason, right? When we saw that last year with Aaron Rodgers, who won back-to-back MVPs, and they lose in their first game against San Francisco. So that doesn't matter. Do you think if they win what is regarded as, on paper, to be arguably the toughest division in the history of regular season pro football, that at 9-1, there could be value there for Mahomes at MVP? Because I don't see another scenario where if they win the division, they cash the win total over, minus $1.15 to get to at least 11 wins, and then win this just knockdown, drag-out division. I think he'd be, like, Allen's the favorite at 7-1. Everybody's expecting them to win the East. For the first time, you and I are having a conversation that we go, no, the Chiefs might not be the betting favorite, or in our eyes, the betting favorite in that division. Sure,
absolutely. You know what? I guess you could look at that. There's some value right there. I mean, the narrative could still favor Patrick Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers did not lead the National Football League in passing yards last year, but yet he won back-to-back MVPs. It's going to be about the moments. Kansas City's going to have the moments, the matchups too, the fact that we can watch Patrick Mahomes do great things. He's got 11 interceptions. He made a lot of mistakes last year. If he's a highly efficient quarterback, if he truly is that pocket passer like an Aaron Rodgers is, escapes the pocket to make a big player to make something happen, and when he has to, then yeah, I can see the narrative shifting towards his direction and also support coming that way for Patrick Mahomes to be MVP this year.
Yeah, because again, narrative-driven awards, I think that is the key. So I think what people did is they looked at what happened with Green Bay. They saw the Jordan Love game when Rodgers couldn't go with the COVID or whatever the reasons were back then, and then they go, boy, Jordan Love can't play.
Right.
Like the Chiefs, if they can win this division, they're going to go, well, they don't even have Tyreke Hill. So Pat Mahomes did all that, Patrick. So, like, I don't want his mom getting mad.
That's right.
So, like, all of a sudden, that's how that narrative gets driven, where people are like, Patrick Mahomes is the reason why. Aaron Rodgers is the reason why the Packers were the number 1 seed in the NFC last year. So I think that those things you have to take those things into account. And we're going to get deeper into this division throughout the show.
One more thing I need to throw in there.
Bring it.
So they had 2 guys in the top 10 yards after the catch, receiving yards after the catch.
Mecole Hardman?
Yes. Think about that. Tyreke Hill. Yeah, Kelce and Hardman
didn't see
in
that.
the top 10. Right?
Wow.
So my point is you're going to add Juju. You're going to add some other players, Valdez-Scantling Jr. and all this. I mean, you're going to add, but you're also going to be more efficient, which I think if you're Kansas City at this point, reinventing yourself as everybody's caught up to you in the league.
Visit VSiN.com to get current odds. Listen for free. Find showtimes and download VSiN sports betting podcasts.